Right. Today I'm going to talk about Jackie Chan and the Shinjuku Incident. Now, I picked this film up about a year ago for a song, and it took me about a year to watch it. It just kind of sat over with the rest of the films, largely forgotten, mainly because of things that were going on, but a lot because it didn't strike me as a typical Jackie Chan film, and because of that, I tended to forget about it. Now, the amazing thing about this film is it is a complete departure for Jackie. It doesn't have a lot of his action sequences in it, because we all know Jackie Chan is the man. He's the one that does all his own stunt work, does most of his own choreography, if not all of it, and he's renowned for putting his all into it. Every film he's ever made has got outtakes where he's hurt himself repeatedly for his art. And in this film, he actually just mainly acts, and I think he does a brilliant job doing it. The plot in a nutshell is Jackie Chan plays a character called Steelhead, which I love the name, whose fiancée goes to Japan to make her fortune. So much against Jackie's misgivings, she goes to Japan and promptly disappears off the face of the earth. Steelhead is madly in love with her. He goes to Japan to try and find her. And that's where his problems start. Due to a skirmish with a border guard, he loses his identity papers. He winds up on a boat that crashes just off the shore of Shinjuku and almost gets caught repeatedly in trying to find his brother who's already in Japan. He finally arrives to Shinjuku, broke, cold, hungry. I mean, his first night there, he sleeps in a cardboard box. But basically, once he gets there, you find out life as an illegal immigrant in Japan is not a very nice one, especially if you're Chinese. You have to pay to get work, large sums, and you do the jobs that nobody else wants to do. Sound familiar? While cleaning out the sewers, they get raided by the police. He actually saves the life of the police chief or police detective who can't swim, and later on in the film this aids him a lot. But what happens is Jackie decides to make a stand, or Steelhead decides to make a stand and try and help his quote-unquote brothers, because they're basically being victimized by everyone. Essentially, they become a gang, and they start moving in the world of the Yakuza. While this is going on, he finds his fiancée, who's now married to a Japanese Yakuza underboss. It is a really great film. I saw Jackie Chan's character, or Jackie Chan as his character, do things I've never seen Jackie do in a film ever before. Great departure for him. It was nice to see him actually act more than react. He did still do some stunts, but nothing along the lines of what he's always done. Because let's face it, Jackie's getting older, and I should imagine it's a lot harder to recover from those injuries that he used to have all those years ago. But again, it's a film so worth seeing. And this particular one, I mean, again, I got this for so cheap, and it's a 2-disc special edition. It's got scads of interviews, making of, documentaries, behind the scenes, absolutely fantastic, and a good bargain. But again, it's one of those, if you like Jackie Chan, and I just, like I said, I think the guy is the greatest thing in the world, you'll want to watch the film, because it is good. An awful lot like the films of Beat Takeshi, who did a lot of Yakuza films, but the splendid mix it has of the Chinese immigrants ganging up to basically look after themselves, which was Steelhead's vision, and it all falls apart. Really fantastic film. I'm not going to tell you about how it ends. I don't want to get too much more into the intricacies of the plot, spoil watching it for you. Basically, if you get a chance, give it a watch. It really is worth the time and effort. I sat here transfixed with earphones on, watching it on my laptop. And the only complaint I had was, and I don't know whether it does the same thing on a regular DVD player or on a Blu-ray player, but some of the subtitles were on the screen for less than a nanosecond. Literally, you got a quick glimpse and they were gone. So you had long periods where people were speaking Chinese or Japanese and you had no idea what they were saying. Now, I will go on to say that this is available with English dubbing, but as a rule, I rarely ever watch a foreign film that's been dubbed in English. For two reasons. One, everybody sounds like Mickey Knox, and you know, gotta love Mickey Knox. The guy made a living doing voiceover work for Italian films for years, but all those guys sound like that. You know what I'm saying? And of course, a lot of Chinese films just really had really atrocious dubbing. Even some of the Japanese films, like I said, The Grudge was spoiled completely by the English dubbing because they had everyone that had cut glass English accents, don't you know? Oh boy. So they really did, or really do, put me off. Now, I just want to do something a little bit different. My daughter Meg found this game in the local charity shop for about £1, and it's called Cineplexity. And it's a kind of a cool, fun little game, especially if you really love films and have watched a lot of them in your spare time. The premise behind the game is you draw a couple of cards. And then what you do is you look at the cards, and they'll be broken down into scenes, plots, characters, and you have to guess what film they might represent, and whoever gets closest to it wins. Well, in this case, I'll be the adjudicator. But the very first two cards we pulled out, the scene was in an attic or basement, and the character was French or Italian or Caesar. Meg immediately leapt up and said, The Rise of the Planet of the Apes. And I thought, that's brilliant, because Caesar, at the beginning of the film, lives in a refurbished attic. So it's a great little game. And if you like the idea of it, what I'll do at the end of every video that I do is I'll pull a couple of cards and let you guys see them. And if you have any idea of what movies they could apply to, leave me a comment in the section below, and we'll see what kind of interesting or spot-on answers we get. So, if you like the idea, let me know. But until next time, like I always say, keep watching the movies and have fun. Bye. It was a great departure from him. It was a... I'll try this again without the burping.